Hi, friends. This is Kevin Closson from Topcon Solutions. I manage the software technical team for the company, and I've actually been with the company, speaking of which, for about, let's see, coming up on 20 years in September. Um, do a lot of what we're looking at here today, a lot of training, consulting, and I'm pretty much focused right now on customization for different firms and agencies throughout.
And I'm Ryan Sweeney. I am applications engineer for Topcon Solution Stores. I do a lot of the big data, so a lot of mobile mapping, drone data. But as you'll see, I also do a lot of GPS, total stations, and whatever it is hardware-wise and some software-wise that you guys need help with, I'm your man. So from here, we're going to be going on and talking about, the hardware and what it is to do the field and finish in 2020. So these are some of the equipment that you guys would be seeing and used to, probably, I hope, anyway, out in the field. So UAVs have become much more prevalent in the industry today, and they're super beneficial, and I can't wait to go into them with you in a little bit. What you guys may not be used to seeing is the RDM1, which is attached to the back of the truck right now. It's a mobile mapper. It's a great new tool that we have that I can't wait to show you either. It gets you some amazing data. And then in the back right there, you can see a GPS rover, which I hope you guys have been using. It's been around for, a little over 20 years now. And that's really where we're going to start today. So as you guys, are used to, it's a GPS basin rover. No different than, anything you guys are using, whether it's the Hyper SRs like you're seeing here, some of our older stuff like the Hyper Vs or GR5s, even GR3s or Hyper 2s, the same basic concept. And, you guys have been doing field to finish, probably for the last 20 years, right? You guys have been going out into the field just like I'm doing right here. You have your GPS set up, you're walking on the edge of pavement, hitting edge of pavement. Now we're in the center line. We're going to hit the big center line button. With the new magnet, we have quick codes, so you can have those right up on your screen, ready to go. So you don't have to code anything on the fly. You just tap the big button, makes it nice and easy. And as you walk down that road, we're just getting the feature lines, feature codes, which is great. You guys have been doing it for forever, which is awesome, and it gets the job done. But I'm sure, as many of you guys are aware, nothing is worse than going out, grabbing those shots, and then a customer calling you, a day, 2-3 days later and saying, hey, by the way, I had you go out, take these shots. Did you get that catch basin, or did you get that manhole, or these random other points that I made no mention of 2, 3, 4, 5 days ago, and I'm expecting you to have now? So, prior to what I'm about to show you, you'd have to go back out into the field. You have to go back out and collect that. That costs you time, money, man hours, and no one enjoys that. No one enjoys going to do double work.
Okay, so taking a look at what Ryan was talking about in CAD, what we've done here is we've brought in all the points with the field to finish auto line work generation. Now, if you've done that in the past, you'll know that there's a lot of setup that's required. And this is all the presets when it comes to figures, figure styles, code sets, on and on and on. And once that's all in place, we bring it in through the survey database, which is a whole nother tool that we have to manage as we're doing it. And then we should get results like what we're seeing there in the background. And then I just happen to turn on all of the information here, as well as the surface. And then we can take a quick peek at that in a three-dimensional view. And you'll notice that all of the line work matches up with the surface. And then just as a side note, as we start looking at this in InfraWorks, all of this would have had to have been built in Civil 3D. The surfaces, again, with all the point information, stylization, so forth. So InfraWorks is going to save us a ton of time going forward.
Yep. And from there, now, like I was saying earlier, this is the older way, the way you guys are familiar and used to doing it. So now we're going to go into the Falcon 8 Plus. So this is our UAV. This is an octocopter. with a nice, it's a DSLR camera right on there. It's going to be one of the best photos you guys are going to be seeing, and some of the most accurate photogrammetry data that you can get from a UAV short of LiDAR data. So basically, it's super easy to use. It's all straightforward. You're not really piloting anything. All of this is pre-planned flights. You're basically saying and encompassing the area that you want to fly. Say, this is the area, this is the height I want to fly, and this is the ground sampling distance or the accuracy that I'm really looking for. And the Falcon 8 is going to go up in the air, it's going to fly, it's going to go down those grid lines, it's going to take all those pictures automatically, and what you're doing more or less on the ground is monitoring. And I'm sure many of you guys have been, topoing large job sites, a couple hundred acres, and that takes days, if not weeks, depending on the size of your job, where you can send this drone up and you can have it done in minutes, hours, and, at least within the day, you'll have your entire job site captured and good, accurate topo data comparable to a GPS rover, ready to go to use for, takeoffs or cut fill maps, whatever it is you're looking to do with that data. So after you've flown the drone, it's landed, you're taking that SD card right on out of it. We're going to go right into our computer. We're going to import those images right into context capture. We're going to do a couple quick arrow triangulations and get those images stitched together. And then we're going to do some reconstructions. So as you can see here, I stitched all those images together. We have a nice 3D model, and I'm sure some of you guys have probably done a topo or two in your life. This is a lot more data than you'd ever see from any topo you've ever done. Maybe you're going out to topo some shoulders and some edge of pavement, maybe the road, and you're just looking to get that data. This, as you can see, in the half the time, if not more so, you're getting way more data. It's going to be more accurate because you have the density. So as you can see here, we're looking at, you can see the tracks from the dozers. You can see those bumps in the road. You can see all that data. It's a lot more than you're used to, which can be overwhelming, but you don't have to use it all. It's all information that you can trim, you can cut, you can use it how you kind of used to, but have the backup of having all that data there. So when someone does call you back and say, hey, I need all this information. Hey, did you happen to grab this pile while you're out there? You can say, yeah, I actually did. And, send the change order and get a little bit paid on that money without having to send your whole crew back out there in half the time, if not more so. And that's kind of the great thing about using the Falcon 8. The thing with photogrammetry, though, as you probably saw in that video, road data is not good enough to do for as-builting. It's not good enough for any kind of reconstruction. And that's where our mobile mapping technology comes in. So right now you're looking at the RDM1, and this is our mobile mapper for roads. It attaches right into the back of a pickup truck, as you're going to see right now, and you basically just drive right on down the road. It's going to be shooting a LiDAR unit. There's a LiDAR unit right in the back. It's shooting 100 hertz, so 100 times a second, and capturing a ton of data on this road. And it's all accurate. It's super easy. I'm sure you guys, if you have done road surveys before in the past, you've had to have cops, you've had to have barriers, you've had to have lane closures. All of that costs time and money, and a huge part of that is insurance. You have to worry about guys getting hit by oncoming traffic because, as we know, oncoming traffic drivers tend to not be, the most aware. And this really helps cut that down, because now, instead of being out on the road yourself, unprotected by anything other than a barrier, a cone, or a cop, you can be in your truck, sipping a cup of coffee, cruising down the road at whatever the speed limit is, capturing data. And that data, as you're going to see here, we're going to take it right out of that truck. We're going to bring it into Magnet Collage, process it, and now we have our accurate road data. So you guys can use this. You can't use this in tunnels or heavy tree cover, but any of the many roads throughout the country, throughout the world that don't have that issue, you can just drive right on down, collect that data, and you can see the noise here is very minimal. and the accuracy is very high, especially when compared to the UAV or GPS unit, because there's no way you're going to get this density with a GPS rover, and there's no way you're going to get this accuracy with a UAV, no matter which UAV it is. And that's really a huge benefit of it. And from here, we're going to go on and we're going to go take this data from the RDM1, and we're going to take the data from the UAV, and we're going to bring it all into Autodesk and merge it together. And that's really where Kevin's going to start to show you how beneficial this really becomes.
Thanks, Ryan. And I like that idea, Ryan, gathering data while you're drinking coffee. So what we're doing in here is basically just some cleanup work. We didn't need all that extra surface information externally, so we trimmed that out. You can see the current accuracy of the AUV. And once we basically have that boiled down, then we're going to merge in the RDM1's information. Okay, so now that that data is merged within Recap, we can take that into InfraWorks. And it's worth mentioning that Recap is the backbone of Autodesk products. When you're dealing with point clouds, we're always using Recap. And you can see here as we're looking at this, both of those files are merged. You can see the UAV in color there. The RDM1 is the road in black and white. And what we're getting ready to do, or actually we just started doing there, is the feature line extraction, where we're getting center line and edge of pavement. You can see that line work as it goes through. And notice the road there. Look how smooth that is. I mean, it's really, really clean all the way throughout. So from here, we actually can take all of that processed surface information as well as that line work and kick that over into Civil 3D. So speaking of which, here's Civil 3D, and everything is compiled within Civil 3D at this stage. So we have our orthos, we have all of our surfaces that were created back in InfraWorks, we have that line work brought across, and all of this can be manipulated and used for whatever our design purposes are. And then I have to reiterate what Ryan was saying is, as you're working in these projects, inevitably something comes up, and somewhere, whatever the situation is, somebody needs a quick measurement, or somebody says, was there a tree that was, on that intersection or close to that intersection, possibly blocking views or whatever it may be. We don't have to go back out. We can just pull our model up right here and take a look at it, and we can get measurements and everything else directly from this model.
And that's it, guys. It was great talking to you today. I hope you guys learned a lot. I know I threw a lot of information at you. So if you do have any questions, which I'm sure you do, reach out to us at topconsolutions.com. I'll be happy to, get back to you with any answers that I can on the hardware side or on a lot of the processing stuff. We also can offer, personalized classes on any of the hardware and software that you've seen today or in our portfolio. So if you'd like to see something like you saw today, but more detailed and more targeted towards you specifically, we'll do like one-on-one trainings or demos just like you saw today over the web. I know COVID's a real thing and it's a big deal, and you guys aren't trying to do in-person meetings, and we're trying to cater towards you. So we're happy to help. So it was great talking to you guys, and Kevin.
Thanks, Ryan. And thank you everybody for tuning in. This was fun. I enjoyed this, and I'm looking forward to it going viral. So anyway, as Ryan said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and we'll get you pointed in the right direction one way or another. So take care.
Bye, guys.